the Philadelphia Eagles get a little bit greedy, and now we have a new backup. Pro Fan Talk, let's get it. What's going on? This is Coach Marcus, Pro Fan Talk. Had a couple things happen. We're still waiting to see what the fallout is going to be for CJ Gardner-Johnson. Still hoping that he will get signed and Howie Roseman can work his magic, but haven't heard anything as of yet. So we still got a long way to go. So anything can happen. So, but very interesting signings. The Eagles signed Greedy Williams from Cleveland. We signed Rashad Penny, running back from Seattle, and we signed Marcus Mariota from Atlanta. Now, Greedy Williams is interesting because you would think that they would be trying to pull all their resources to sign CJ Gardner-Johnson. But we signed Greedy Williams. Apparently, Howie Roseman wanted Greedy Williams out of the draft, and it just didn't work out. He hasn't quite panned out in Cleveland, but you can say that about a lot of people. Cleveland does weird things to people's careers. That's why Jacoby Brissett was so highly looked at for what he did. Greedy Williams, very similar to Rashad Penny, may just need a change of scenery. Hopefully, he can come in here and get with this group in the secondary and raise his game up a little bit and become what they expected him to become coming out the draft. Now, this is a cautionary tale and more of just a revelation of the closer we get to the draft, you're going to hear more and more rhetoric about what people think, what people's draft status is, and what it should be, especially in regards to quarterbacks, not necessarily DBs and stuff like that, but they always want to throw stuff like, yeah, you get this guy, he can be the foundation of your franchise for at least 8 to 10 years. And like they'll put stuff out there like that in the universe. And it's like, you never know what you're going to get, man. You never know what you're going to get coming out of the draft. You get people that meet all of the measurables, all of the visual measurables, and it just doesn't pan out. And you get some people that you've never heard of, like Brock Purdy. Brock Purdy will always be the example. Brock Purdy will there'll always be two people on either end of that spectrum. You got Brock Purdy, Mr. Irrelevant, and then you got somebody like Mike Mamula. Mike didn't have a bad career. He just didn't live up to those expectations of what he did at the combine. You're always going to have people like that. Greedy Williams coming here. Maybe he just needs a change of scenery, get some new teammates, and we'll see what he can do. Marcus Mariota, I wish we could have got Jacoby Brissett. I think he is a better quarterback, period. However, Marcus Mariota will fit in our system a lot better. A lot better. If you talk to people from Atlanta, they weren't real thrilled with what he was doing. He had a job and couldn't keep the job. He has some ups and downs. He has some good games and some bad games, but it looked like the bad games outnumbered the good games. But he's in a different offense up here. You can use him like you would use Jalen Hurts. I think that's the key. Gardner Minshew comes in. Gardner Minshew, who I believe is a better quarterback than Marcus Mariota, but not in this system. You see where he struggled in those 3 games he started. Yes, he almost beat Dallas, but after that, it wasn't pretty. Mariota is a better fit for this scheme and this system than Minshew was. That's why Minshew's going to Indianapolis. He's staying with Steichen. They don't have to worry about the RPOs as much. So he'll be a little bit more successful in that offense. I think Mariota will be more successful in this offense. Let's hope he never gets to play. Jalen stays upright and on the field. Because let's face it, he is our best opportunity to win games, win championships. We'll see what's going to happen. We still have a lot of time left. We still have a lot of moves to make. There's a lot of things that Howie needs to do. There's a lot of decisions they still have to make before we even get to the draft, let alone what's going to happen everybody, at least everybody in the Philadelphia area, they were looking at that kid Gonzalez, they were looking at Witherspoon, and they were looking at Joey Porter Jr. as a defensive back / safety that they should pick up first round in the draft. Having re-signed all of the players that we have, is he still going to make that move? Because if you're looking for the secondary, we're pretty much solid. If we get CJ Gardner-Johnson back, we're definitely solid. So what does he do with that 10th pick? Does he trade down, get a couple more picks? Does he trade down, stay in the first round, and get something else later on? I can see that happening. Or you look at the situation with Jalen Carter. If Jalen Carter slips to us, do we take a chance on him? Don't think just because he had a bad workout that the kid can't play anymore. And it's funny because now all of a sudden that's what the narrative is. You mean to tell me you watched that kid all year, you got all of his tape, and because he had a bad workout, because of all of the stuff he's going through, let's make no mistake, that kid left the combine, had to surrender himself to the police, came back, then went back home, and all that kid is stressed out. Believe it. That young man is stressed out. So if you're going to throw away all his tape because of one workout, you're crazy. You're crazy. That's the same way that people will tell you that if these average quarterbacks come to the combine and have a great workout, and then what do people always do? They want to reference the tape. He had a great workout, but he didn't do this against Alabama. He didn't do this against whoever. So they always use it against it. You can flip that around, but what is the narrative that they're trying to put out there? So, but in any case, we got a lot of time. We've got a lot of moves to make. Howie and Jeff Lurie have a lot of decisions to make, and we'll be here for it, and we'll keep it moving. Go Birds.